You know.
This is us. This is who's coming today. Justin can't come. I'm looking so weird. I can't get over this Zoom thing.
Oh, I don't need to know that
And then,
that I'm visible.
so then there I can see what's on it. Okay. Interesting. My hair looks
Just
black.
ignore it.
I know,
So who are
right?
we missing? Lance?
So Lance, Justin, and Christian.
You just got in here just in time because if we would have used the college rule,
Oh, yeah. we
I've been
would've been-
holding her up. I've been talking her ear off about plants, so it's.
It's all right. I met Dana in the parking lot, so,
okay.
right? And you guys were here, so you started without us, right? No.
You had the agenda, I guess we should have.
Right? Right? Joy, do you
Never
know Dawn?
Hi, I'm Dawn Littleton. I live nearby. Hi, Joy. And your last name is?
Bert Singer.
Bert Singer. And are you here to say something today or?
She's hanging out. We're trying to
I'm hanging
recruit
out,
her.
Trying to kind of figure out what's all going on. and
Let us know what you find out.
Joy was the mayor at one point.
Oh, excellent.
She was one of the first.
She's a
people I
wealth
met.
of knowledge.
Wow.
1998.
Years ago, no.
That's still a wealth of knowledge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it until 99 or until 2001?
Well, I was elected in 98 to start council. So I served
Okay.
on council at 99. And then the last year I was on was 2006. So I was council mayor.
Nice.
Nice to meet you. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah.
You too.
It's exciting to have you here. All right. So before we get super official, what do you guys recommend for Lance, or do we wait for Lance, obviously, to give us a recommendation of how to make a tribute to Linda? Or what's been tossed around, anything?
Well, we had emails going back and forth about a
Right, about,
tree.
but I mean, like, do we just do that, or do we ask Lance what he wants to do, or how does that work?
I think we can maybe offer some different suggestions that we're willing to do and have him say, or what you think, I think it's, I don't, it would be kind of hard to say, well, what would you like? And then we're like, no, we can't do that.
We can go ahead and,
What's that?
I think we can go ahead and decide something, but it doesn't have to be in a meeting.
Right, because it would probably come out of our personal pockets versus anything else, right?
Do you have an extra pen or pencil?
That's what I'm looking for right
Oh,
now.
okay.
All right,
Thank you very
thank
much.
you, ma'am. Okay. So. We've got the members present and absent. And then, did anyone see the May meeting minutes besides Dana and I? But,
I move to approve the meeting minutes from May.
right, okay. Am I allowed to second it? All right. All right, all in favor, say aye.
I,
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, does anyone have anything to add to the agenda?
yes, I
Okay.
just would like to add, I would talk to Kane and I want to add a water discussion for Orinoco Park,
Okay,
under Orinoco Park, so I will go ahead and add that on here.
Alright.
And it would be great to have some, this is what I talked about, I think when I was here 2 meetings ago, some text for the newsletter that comes out with what Lance is doing with the wood.
I did that already.
Oh, you did that?
And
so
the
did you see
newsletter's
it?
out.
Did you see it the other day?
I
when it
guess I
came in your
didn't.
mailbox?
I guess I thought I looked through it. It'd been helpful had you told me, then I wouldn't be tracking it down, but no, I didn't see it.
Because it should be in your
The
mailbox.
newsletter comes out,
Right, I said I would be, I mean, just so that I don't spend time wasting my time trying to track down Lance or figuring out how to reach him if it's already been done.
right, yes, it had to be done, because the newsletter deadline was in May.
I know that. I'm just saying, I didn't know that it would be great to say, hey, Dawn, you're off the hook on this. I didn't know,
Oh,
I didn't know it was gonna be that
I
week.
think you were at the last, you weren't at the last meeting. That's
I was
probably
not.
why. Yeah,
Okay.
we got it. We discussed it then.
Okay,
Sorry.
that's right. No, we're just, I will stop worrying about it then.
That's right. You can check that
No,
out
I put
until
in
we
a-
have another update.
I put in a blurb for the natural toys, the
The ones
garden
right here,
park. Yep,
right?
the garden park and what else did I put a blurb in?
I got the newsletter. I thought I opened it and looked at it, maybe not long enough. But if you, I mean, if you have those, I just thought I was volunteering to help out a gap, but if you have those connections, that's,
Well, I'm on city council, so it's just easy for me to.
okay,
throw
that's
it in
great.
there. I've done it the last few years
Excellent.
for
So
our parks in the spring.
Good, no, great.
I don't think anything's happened at Orinoco Park yet, right, though, for the natural stuff?
I don't think so. I think that they got the stuff down there, but I don't think it's been set up yet, but I haven't been down there. The last time I was there hadn't been,
Right,
so,
Okay.
but I'll see.
right.
So we were supposed to meet at Alice Park. It was in the minutes, but the agenda had the community center.
That's because things don't really work the way that I want them to.
Okay, that's fine.
Well, and there's a big party at Alice Park tonight.
Yeah,
Nice.
what is, so she and
I
I
don't
went
know.
down
I
there.
went and watered Linda's plants and there was a
Oh, I
big
saw
party.
they were wet.
I went and watered, so I saw, oh, there's a park, so or party, so we wouldn't have been able to.
They were Florida and Virginia license plates.
They looked like they were having a good time, playing music, having
Yeah,
food.
playing a violin, it was nice.
I think, before I left, I said, thank you for the great music.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they were just setting up when I was down there, so I was like, oh, I'd be curious.
oh, I love it. And then when you say Linda's plants, do you mean? a
I just
different
planted them
Linda?
in honor of her.
Oh,
Linda. I
that's
planted
true.
all the planters and I'm taking
Oh,
care of them in
wow.
honor of Linda. And I put a little, like, there's a little stick, like a little stick in there.
Now,
That was just therapy for me.
so I know that's later on, but does that mean that you're not having anyone, it sounds like you're adopting the planters?
Yeah, I adopted them this year.
Right?
I did.
Right, that's fair.
A few people are gonna help me out, but
Good.
I just, yeah,
Wow.
like I
Good.
said, it's like a little bit of a therapy for me.
It is, isn't it? I mean, it's a super awesome excuse to get out and water something.
We were,
I
we
like
were
it.
just there, they're still wet.
Yeah, they look great.
They
too.
actually were wet when I even watered them. I thought about, should I not? Because they stay a little bit more damp than the ones here, of
Oh,
course, that are
yeah.
baking in the sun.
Yeah.
That's true. All right, so Rylan, what would you like to tell us about the Zimbro Water Trail, please?
That's a good question because I've been
Okay.
trying to get hold of the engineers the last couple of weeks to find out what they were. I know they're working on a wiki map, and we also had a meeting in early April with the county representatives about having open houses. We need to circle back to see when they're gonna do the open houses in the 4 counties individually. So,
And then when you say counties, so then we would share Olmsted County with the Rochester open house?
The Olmsted, Dodge, Goodhue, and Wabasha.
Right?
are the
There's
4
one
counties.
open house.
No, four different locations for open
Right,
house,
4
right?
different locations
So-
within each county.
So we'll be sharing with Rochester, they're the same open house. Is that?
Would we
All
share?
of Olmsted County
Wherever
probably.
Olmsted County meets. The idea is for the counties to send invitations out to Rochester, Orinoco. Are probably the 2. Goodhue would be Pine Island and Several Falls, maybe.
Do you know what dates yet?
No dates yet.
Okay,
And the open houses, would that be for citizens or?
Sure,
for-
sure. It's open to the public. It's all part of gathering more public input for the master plan. And they rely on, just like we had the survey go out, then we had a website go out. So probably put the wiki map on our website. So we can gather more information, input about the amenities and what they'd like to see and that type of thing.
Okay,
If you ever been down to the Fisherman's Inn, the Olmsted County took that park over. They have a really unique way of getting in your canoe, and it's a canoe launch.
Really?
Yeah, there's a platform just like a loading dock or a boat dock, but there's a long, and it has rollers individually, so you can put your canoe in it. And there's a couple of handrails on either side, so you can get into the canoe, and then you just pull on the side and you just slide right into the water.
Ooh,
Really slick.
that's, yeah,
The same way for getting in and out, you know,
okay.
just something different.
that is nice.
Yeah,
And I bet that would be grant fundable. for access to either natural area.
As
or
you go down to
waterway.
the end of the Fisherman's Pier, but the pier is off to the right, which is typically where Boulder Dam would pick you up. That's where you go out, that's where you leave, but now this really nice apparatus is there is for.
So when you get picked up, that's where it's at, where Boulder
That's where
Dam
they
picks
took
you
it
up.
out, yeah.
Nice. Because there's nothing here and you probably really couldn't put it on a river because of the fluctuating water levels, right?
Just make it
Yeah,
longer.
there's-
Yeah, they really long.
Ski slope or something.
Ah, ah,
Well, does that lake at Fisherman's Wharf fluctuate?
It fluctuates between 2 to 3 feet,
Oh, and, this fluctuates.
916,
And it's just daily, you know what I mean? Like up and down and up and down the water
nine,
here.
it gets above 916, that's a no wake.
Well, that's
But
right, 'cause
usually
they
it's
had
around
that last-
913,
They had that
914
last
is the.
couple weeks
depth.
ago.
Are you thinking of for Orinoco Parks or just for general for the big
It's just-
idea?
I saw it, took a picture of it.
Because they may have
Where
some
can we fly
different,
this someplace?
they may have some different design for, when the water fluctuates or,
Yeah,
that's cool.
well, it's on poles, so it can go rise and lower with
Oh,
the
okay.
level, so yeah.
How long is it?
Well, where you put your canoe in, it's probably from here to the wall.
Okay,
So I can definitely get a 12-foot canoe in there, no problem.
that sounds, I want to just say fundable because they, of getting people to use the natural resources or whatever. That
Well, and
sounds-
making things more accessible.
Yeah, it's really slick. So that's about it for now.
Okay,
Okay.
awesome. I apologize. Well, actually, I have looked before and it's hard to find because they're not always out there, but did anything get talked about at city council for parks last time that you
Well,
guys
we
can
did,
remember?
we approved no mo may.
Okay,
Yeah, the May minutes have not been posted yet,
right?
so hopefully this week they'll be posted.
Because that is, I mean, and that make, like, do they have to, they don't have to be approved before they get posted, the minutes, or do they?
No, they just have to be typed up, reviewed.
And
They're
just
not approved
and
until.
put unapproved and then until we approve them at the
Okay.
next meeting. So with no mo may, if we can, we'll talk about
Yeah.
that here. I think I think it's probably a good thing. We probably do need to reevaluate a few things, like somebody had said, the baseball diamond or the fields. I'm like, yeah, that's a good idea. Kane did go down and mow River, or not Kane, but the
Yeah,
crew did go down
Sam.
and mow River Park. There was still complaints about River. It was kind of funny because the complaint we had was about River Park not being mowed. But in fact, it had been mowed. It just, things had grown fast
So quickly, yeah.
because, dandelions grow fast. There was complaints about the Frisbee golf not being mowed. So, I mean, in hindsight, like I said, like we could probably approach it in a more thoughtful manner as far as like before, maybe have our parks done before Memorial Day weekend. That would probably be fair, right? Like making sure the ball fields are reusable, things like that. And then, like I said, we're leaving, and also we left it Kane's discretion, if it gets too high, then that would be a problem as well.
Yeah, that would
With
be.
that,
great.
so we're leaving it kind of up to them and, but I think we for sure had one complaint. Kane said he had a couple others I didn't hear about, but
Yeah, ball field.
the ball field, that was
Okay.
more of a suggestion. That was more of a suggestion, not like a
Yeah.
crap, like a complaint, but.
If I'm, I know that the NOMO May is a pretty new idea. I think is it 2 years, just 2 years old now or 3 years old?
Something like that.
But I just wonder if an area, like a recreational area, like a baseball diamond, if it prevents people from using it, would it be better just to say some things have an exception to NOMO May, like a recreational area?
Right, I think so. I think that that's what we have to do. And we also have to just be better announce it to the public.
Oh, like a sign saying no more, yeah.
You know what I mean? We just have to do a better job. We kind of adopted it, and as you may or may not know, we're it's a little short-staffed at the moment.
Yeah, yeah.
There's,
Wasn't
so
publicized.
it wasn't, we didn't publicize it as well, and we didn't get the information out, but we'll do better next May. So I think we
So-
can work on that.
So even like those, like, like not lawn signs, but,
Yeah.
no mow May, because I think it's sort of half the people are aghast that you let your grass grow, and the other half are like, let nature win. But sometimes, I mean, I would say like for recreation, let's not prevent people.
Right.
Because of, yeah.
Right. And I think like, I think Memorial Park had been mowed. There was places that had been mowed, but people just,
So next year, if we order signs, we would probably order them in March, and they could probably be used
well,
every
and
year.
there's so many different, there's like we should, we'll promote it better. We'll
And the newsletter, which some of us should read more carefully.
ahead of time. Yeah, yeah. And then, well, I mean, there's such great information out there that we can take advantage of. This just kind of, the idea popped into our head in May.
Yeah.
And, at the May meeting, because a few things. One, our staff, Public Works is strapped with,
Right.
people and time. And so after May, what's nice about after May is we have 2 more seasonal workers that come on
Oh.
board. So it makes so much more sense for them to pay that attention to the,
Right. And I actually I did try to join last May, but the Zoom was not working.
because we ended up getting kicked out of here and had to go.
I mean, I made my attempt.
Yes, we felt bad. I know.
No, don't feel
Katie had said you were gonna try to.
Don't feel bad. I just was
Yeah.
like, there was an attempt. I didn't just play hooky.
You were in New York though, so I was happy for you, right? Or were you?
Well, yeah, I was in New
Yeah,
York.
That's good.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay,
Yeah, so we'll just move this, revisit this discussion back in this early spring, late winter next year.
but is it really parks or is it, I guess it's parks for the fact that,
I think they
We're
want
talking
if
about
we
not
brought,
moving
yeah,
parks.
we would bring the recommendation to the city council and.
okay,
And I think we may just want to identify areas that we want to do a noble area. And
Yeah.
for those swings and recreational areas, kids are running around to the swings, and I think that was the other concern we have, is just the tall grass next to the swings,
Yeah,
varmints and all that stuff, even though it was only 2 weeks in May,
yeah, it wasn't.
so.
Yeah, I guess from a big picture about No Mow May, I'd like to see more people embrace it, but one way to get them to embrace it is to not prevent them but good.
Yep, I think we could have put more thought, will put more thought into it next year.
No, and yay that you guys are doing it.
all right. So next on the agenda was to get an update on Lance's Natural Wood Toys, and it is done at the community center and almost done in Orinoco Park, is what I'm gonna say about that. And then, age-friendly Orinoco would like to explore putting more benches near trails and in parks, and we would, be willing to suggest that to be in our 2023 budget. To come up with more of those. And then this is another thing that I have to continue to explore better, and I don't know how, so Dan Conway sent me a document about parks in Boston. And I think, so I visited with he and Rosemary the other day on a Zoom call. And these are for the age-friendly Orinoco, so we're trying to help, the community recognize what senior citizens need.
So it's kind of old age friendly.
Yes,
okay.
there you go, yeah, and
Well, it's interesting because
yeah, what do
we're
you think?
also, we're looking at it as, at all ages can continue to live here. So, because people become, at any age can become.
Right.
Have.
When I think age friendly, I think of like mountain biking or, I think of a whole
Oh, right.
array of things, but we're talking about places to rest or stop or take a break.
We definitely need to do better in that regard in our community, so that we are identifying like areas which is basically the whole town, that needs more assistance in that. Yes, so that is really what we're concentrating on, but like one way of looking at it is to make it so that all ages.
well,
Are-
and unfortunately, like picnic tables aren't good enough, really. Cause that
I think
can be
tables are
hard.
tricky. Yeah,
Right.
benches would be better.
why picnic tables aren't good enough because they can't sit on them?
Just
To
to
get in there,
swing a
right?
leg over, you know, isn't always.
The
isn't
back,
it?
or
Yeah.
back support.
And
So
back.
maybe, so I
support.
guess we're talking about, I mean, sorry to redefine it
no,
for my
it's
own
totally
brain,
fine.
but like pretty much accessible resources for people of all abilities or
Yeah,
many
yeah.
abilities. Okay, I just, when I hear, sorry, my brain is very
That's
literal.
okay.
No, it is, I mean, that is kind of what we're concentrating on, the age friendly. That
Right,
is
so
the,
we're putting together a survey to get this input back about the different amenities and affects transportation,
Yeah.
buildings, housing,
transportation.
It would be great. I mean, is there any
It was like
transportation to
400
Rochester?
no, and that's,
That would be great.
yep, and then other, yeah, so the survey we're putting together will come out in the newsletter in the fall. And it will be anyone we want, we're asking everyone to fill it out, not just people who are,
And put in here.
yeah. We want everybody's input, whether they themselves might take advantage of it, or they have a parent or a grandparent.
Sure.
So we're working closely with this Don Conway,
Dan,
Dan
Dan
Conway.
Conway,
Yeah.
yes.
So, yeah, go ahead, but read
And
it.
so it's really a AARP initiative. And so that's where the funding will come to once we are identified as an age-friendly committee organization within Orinoco. And then we can put together plans and funds that request that type of thing, so. Or Pine Island has already been established as a age-friendly designation or whatever the name
Yeah.
is, so.
Sounded like 2013 was maybe the start of this program so the document that Dan sent me recently was a Boston, city of Boston, master's student writing about parks and how, you know, they can be helpful to senior citizens and whatnot. And what blew Dan away was, he said, well, one of the things is crime. And he's like, that's not gonna affect Orinoco. And I said, well, sorry, Dan, to say, but some people might not feel comfortable in some of our parks because of some of the drug activity and whatnot. And I don't know if I said drug activity to him, but I did just say that there are some crime things that we're working on, but I don't know. They're not at a point where they would deter people from going to the parks at this point necessarily.
I think there's definitely have been that
That has.
down at River Park for sure.
Oh, at River Park, okay, and
Yes.
I'm even just thinking of Orinoco Park.
Yes, at River Park for sure, because it is so secluded down there and it is, you know,
Yeah, that's
we
true.
put the camera up and I think that has helped a ton.
Okay,
It was very bad for a while,
right?
very.
Yeah,
Mhm.
like if you were just bringing your child to the playground, you wouldn't want to go, right?
Correct, you'd turn around and leave.
Yeah, that's
Mhm,
not cool.
Mhm. And now people definitely feel like they can send their kids again. But for a while, it was really.
Yeah.
I'm curious who watches the camera or who?
So if there's an incident, the camera, it can be reviewed. So
It's a cell
generally.
phone
yeah.
service, so you
Got it. Okay,
I
cool.
can look on my phone right now.
Mhm.
And see, okay. Okay,
So
so
like if
if
there's vandalism, you can see.
so if somebody reports something, you can see what happened.
Correct,
Okay,
yeah.
Good,
Let me post its video surveillance area.
good, yeah.
That has. it
So we do
really
that
has
at
helped.
Orinoco Park, Alice Park, River Park, and the bathrooms at Orinoco Park.
Okay.
Of which are not opened,
No, they're
so
not.
we don't have to worry about that.
Right.
And I was able to explain
They're open with
that.
the rental of the shelter. If you rent the
Oh.
shelter, we'll give a key to unlock the
I think we. agreed
bathrooms
on
during the
that.
time that you have the rental.
I
I
don't know,
think-
was that clear in the newsletter?
Hmm?
I don't think it needed to be clear in the newsletter, but in the newsletter, it said how the bathrooms were closed.
The bathrooms were closed and the camping was closed,
Yeah,
but.
to Prevent
But-
vandalism.
But yeah, I mean,
Well-
if anybody was curious about renting, then they would.
yeah, just ask. But that was something that surprised Rosemary. She had asked me about that too. And I said, well, I also think part of it is because the septic tank system, like, did we even try to get the county permit,
No, we
decided
not to.
right? Because
Because we were
But-
having trouble with homelessness and people
yeah,
there's
just wasn't
people
good.
with drugs, crazy people last year.
Yeah,
Just mentally wasn't very
okay.
safe.
So before we get our age-friendly designation, we can still try to get more benches. We don't have to wait
Oh,
for
sure.
AARP to give us money to get benches.
Yeah, we'll ask for we'll put that in the budget. We had talked about
Right.
putting those in the budget for next year.
And or could people use those as memorials? No, or not?
We do
They
have a
have
few of
them.
those in town. That's a good, I mean, that's an idea, like donate, you mean that they would,
Well, in London, in a park in London, they have for every bench, and there's quite a few benches, it's obviously an inner city park. But there's a little plaque on the back of, where those people who, like famous people from that area have died. But I think we could, maybe it could be, for $200, you could name the plaque, and not a big plaque, but just a little plaque, and then, or
Right.
whatever, just.
that would not be a terrible
And we
idea.
probably want to either have a very small variety of benches, so we can have, so that it looks consistent, I would think if we do that, like you can choose from one of these, maybe 4 types of benches, but just as an idea of people making their park meaningful to them, and it mutually beneficial.
And we do have a few of those throughout the community. I don't know how they were.
Like for benches or,
Mhm.
oh, okay,
Like if you go down to Orinoco Park, we just put one in for
Tables.
Dave,
husband.
Dave Olson, thank you.
so, and that goes through city council, I mean, how, because it would be great just to keep,
It was really between the parks and Kane.
okay. So we could just continue that, I mean, as an idea, I mean, not an idea, but
Well,
as
but
a,
that was a memorial, but we really haven't initiated a public.
Right. She came to us and asked if she could do it, but we haven't requested it,
No,
or
we
we
haven't.
haven't said, but that wouldn't be it.
would we want
It's a
to?
good idea what you're talking about. We just
Mhm.
haven't done that in the past.
Because then, if somebody does want to like have a marker for a
Mhm.
deceased, or maybe their hero.
Develop a program.
I know, like, I mean, my family's all over, and when somebody dies, I don't know, there's no really cemetery, so in our church, I buy a little plaque that goes inside the church, but the
Mhm.
same, it could be a bench
Mhm,
or something.
mhm. I think
Like
that-
Dave's, it does have a nice plaque on it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And there's one at the bench at the post office.
Oh, right, okay, so, yeah, so we have precedent.
There's one on a bench out here, or did they
Okay.
take it? They took it back.
I think. Well,
Or is it still there?
Was there. That Lance donated, but
Did they take it back to the post office? The Monica Mitchenfelder one?
no, this bench is sitting outside by the flower garden.
Ah.
They refurbished it. Somebody stained it.
So anyway, sorry. I
Yeah, we
just-
should work on something like that for next year. I mean, we should still probably figure out a budget for it, just because
I
not,
think it's budget, but I also think we need to be consistent with these benches and just not let anybody put a bench.
Right.
We should have some guidelines, or here's the bench, if you want to donate towards it.
Well, here,
Here.
one, yeah, that's, yeah. I
like,
think
we provide the bench, they pay for it.
Or the
Yeah.
choices
So
of the event, maybe, just-
the-
yeah.
Because I think, like you're saying, like to have a consistent bench, because like in Pine Island, they have a pretty consistent looking bench, and that looks nice to have
Yeah,
it.
sure.
To have it, especially on Main Street where I think we're in need of them, along Main Street and different places where there's people walking and.
We went to the Cheese Festival this weekend, down by the swing area, or to the east of the creamery.
Mhm.
That really nice playground area
Oh, yeah.
and benches everywhere.
Yep.
Very simple design,
Mhm.
so
It's a nice,
big cottonwood trees.
yeah,
Huge.
which is why I feel so rotten tonight and why my throat feels like sandpaper, by the way.
Oh.
So that's why I'm coughing so much, just I don't have COVID, it's cottonwood, it's my nemesis.
And so right now, if we were talking about budget items for 2023, is that all we have, our benches right now, or do we have to put in Riverside, Riverwood Hills?
Is this for next year?
Yeah,
Well, one would be for signs for No Mow May.
right? I mean, that should be in a budget thing, right?
I would think so,
For 2023.
if we're paying for them.
Yeah, do we have to put money towards the Riverwood Hills
We
Park
come to
Trail?
every committee and ask for budget items, just like we did last year for parks.
Right, and would
So
River
just
Hills,
submit what you wanna
Riverwood, I
do.
can't even say it. Would River Hills Trail be earmarked for next year or partly for this year? What do we?
Still for this year,
It is, isn't it?
hopefully,
Okay.
I know Joe's working on it, and hopefully he'll come to the June meeting with the proposal.
All right,
July for sure, but the sewer project really takes a lot of his time, but, yeah,
yeah,
he is aware of it. And, he's been talking about different ideas about where there's one part of the trail that goes really kind of down through a valley or gully. And, he was thinking about putting culverts in, but he's having second thoughts now, maybe just doing a low water crossing.
yeah,
Water goes through it.
okay. Did that family?
I know
move
he is
their-
working on it.
Did the family move their fire pit yet?
I don't know.
Right,
I haven't checked.
that's okay. That's so complicated, because there's just not very much room there, but the subdivision only owns a certain part, and then somebody else owns the other part. Right,
City.
Gothier? The city
The
owns,
city owns the trail.
okay. And then it's a developer that owns the other part,
Well, they own the land. They own the farmland to the south of that, yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Right, okay, all right, so I'm pretty sure Lance and Kane have the DNR grant for Emerald Ash Borer. We're just kind of moving along with that as things go. And then I bet you people are enjoying the porta potty at the DNR canoe access. Or it's probably only just starting because it got chilly again for a while. Right? So anyway, I just have them on here so we don't forget about them. So the master gardener people did work on the sign, the city sign. And it looks pretty good. It looks like, I wasn't expecting to see marigolds there, but that's okay. Don't tell anybody. But it looks nice. I know I just did. But it looks really nice. So I'm glad that they had time and made that effort to get that taken care of.
I think it was just Vivian.
It was probably, wasn't it? And Kane had some equipment there that she could put the dirt in or something. But, all right, so Dawn brought some plants. She and I met at Alice Park just to check things out. And can you show everyone what garlic mustard looks like?
Sure, well, and I was actually excited about what's native there, and of course, I didn't bring anything native, because it's busy trying to flower and survive. But this is what's not native, and these are legally regulated plants. So probably everybody knows, well, the ones that are legally regulated, probably everybody knows honeysuckle is bush honeysuckle. They're all invasive and legally regulated, which doesn't mean they're not sold. Unfortunately, the nurse, well, in my mind, nurseries have a large lobbying committee or whatever, and they are still able to sell honeysuckle. They're still able to sell things like Japanese barberry, another legally regulated plant. But anyway, if you want to know what's legally regulated and damaging to the environment, to natural environment, and you've got wonderful plants down by the river, not by the river, but
That parking lot.
by the parking lot, which are slowly getting overtaken by honeysuckle, garlic mustard. What did we see in the, we saw Virginia waterleaf, I think, throughout the, and not phlox, but sweet William. So garlic mustard, none of these are toxic. This is completely edible and very nutritious.
But just takes over the natives.
Yeah, it shades them out when they need sunshine. Wild carrot, which is also edible and not, toxic. And then some of the cool, then here's ragwort, which is not invasive, but it causes allergies.
Ragweed, yeah.
Not really, thank you.
That's okay.
Thank you. And one of the strategies for getting rid of garlic mustard is, so this plant, in the second year, the plant will always die. So the first year is a little rosette, getting enough energy in its little battery as a root. The second year, the battery charges the stem. So the plant shoots up, it's called bolting, and it flowers and the seeds spread and the plant will always die. So if you can just prevent those seeds from landing on the ground for several years in a row, you won't have garlic mustard.
Now, are those seeds right there?
Those are seeds. So there's a flower here, these are going to seed. So
The seed is that big part?
is that what they call a silky?
This?
Yeah, it's not ready yet, but it'll start opening up
Oh.
in like after July, in July. So
Okay.
This year, it meant when one can make a commitment to several years in a row of getting rid of the second year plants, you can, their nemesis or whatever is that the seed must reach the ground. And right now they're really easy to pull out. And then buckthorn, no buckthorn. The nemesis or whatever, the kryptonite for buckthorn is that there's male and female plants, only the females have berries. So if you can kill the berry bearing first, yes, I've been accused of being a female hater. If you can kill the berry bearing first, you won't get new trees. And then this is, it's invasive but not legally regulated. Catmint. Smells good. My cat will love it. And is that it for now? It's very, yeah, there's lots. You've got,
Is that a grass that you have in there just because?
I think you've got reed canary grass down there.
Yeah, probably.
I think you have reed, which is a legally regulated.
Okay.
Legally regulated means that legally I shouldn't be bringing them in here because they are reproductively valid.
On the table.
Yeah, or anywhere. They should be killed and left on site. But that's also very controversial because who wants to pull other weeds and leave them on site? So,
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to leave it there.
so then they say, well, when the pollution control says, well, just bury them. Isn't that called planting them?
Oh my.
So,
What?
and Rochester burns its garbage and they said, fine, you may burn noxious weeds, you may throw them in your garbage. And then pollution control, I used to work at Extension, pollution control was like, you may not do that. And the many places that burn their trash says, you may do that. So obviously it's not settled.
It's one of those things where you should have a garbage disposal. If you have city water and sewer, but if you don't have that, or if you talk to the guys at the landfill, they say put it through the garbage disposal. But if you talk to the people at the sewer treatment plant, they say no, put it in your garbage. So
Right. No, it's
it's
very,
always a catch
it's,
22.
and I do this for a living and, you know, best practice is to leave it on site. Well, people don't pay me to leave their weeds on site,
Yeah.
you know,
Oh, yeah.
so,
That is wild. Well, one suggestion you had made for the garlic mustard is to try to now I didn't hear this controversial part about leaving it there or not, but you were suggesting getting the garlic mustard seed out of there before.
get these
July
plants
10th.
pulled before July the 10th. Because right around between the July the 4th and 10th, they start opening up and dropping seed. And then after that, there's no point in killing them or pulling them because the seeds drop and these guys are gonna die anyway.
So as a city, we would have to decide if we can just put it in our garbage or not, or if we can put it in a pile that gets burned, but
Or put it in a black bag and leave the black bag for a while. I mean, just for in the sunlight where it'll get heated.
right,
Yeah.
but then still put it in the or, well, then would you compost it later then or something?
I wouldn't compost it until I knew that it had reached like 130 degrees for 4 hours.
Right? So that's just something to think about though, like as a parks committee, what can we do?
Well, we had discussed at one of our early spring meetings, getting a group together and going down there. So I don't know why we wouldn't still be able to do that.
If we can do that before, like, probably July the 4th is depending, because they'll, I figured we've had kind of a cold spring, so they may not start opening up until July the 10th. But if we can do that, I'll be happy to lead a group, but I don't want to do it by myself.
No, and that would be in June.
Yeah.
So what we saw the most garlic mustard closest to the end of the parking lot, if that makes sense. We didn't see much by the planters, but we saw that other stuff by the planters.
Half,
No,
yeah, half of the border to the north of the parking lot.
yeah,
On the west side, that west half has got like a 4 or 5 foot margin of garlic mustard plants.
so how,
It's not mowed there.
I'm sorry?
The area you're looking at is not a mowed area around the planters.
Well, I don't think it's, yeah, right,
Around the planters are mowed
Yeah,
but behind.
behind.
So it looks like on the east half, I think it's east, somebody's probably already pulled it. On the west half, they haven't, is what it looks like.
And where, how far in do we own? Like how far in the
There's stakes
city?
there. There's some white stakes. If you look up the bank,
Okay,
there's a couple white stakes that mark the north limit.
because I did see like a black stake with like something pink on it. I don't know what that one was.
That might have been one from the construction. That should have been right next to the
Mm,
So if
boundary
you,
line.
if you want to be kind of formal about it, you could just send a note to the property owner. This is a legally regulated noxious weed. If you would like to pull it, please do, otherwise we'll pull it.
Well, who is the property owner just north of the park?
It's Corrales Park
Yeah,
City.
No, who owns
even
the
next to the city.
next one?
Oh, that's a city street. I'm
So
pretty sure.
But
Oh, so all the way to
Street
that
to the
gravel
west.
road thing?
what's to the west of Minnesota Avenue, right next to Alice, right north of Alice Park?
up the hill from the
Or
plant.
the hill? Who owns that hill?
Well, that's Irv.
Is it?
It's across the road where the barn is at and everything else from there to Jet Thronson. That's Irv's property.
All the way to the park? I don't
Well,
think so.
There's
It's
a first
not.
street there. There's a street there.
There's the street there. So the between the street and Alice Park,
I think it's,
I think that's part of the city then.
all of it?
think,
Yeah, it would be up there.
Well, here's the street here.
do you mind if I come up and look too?
Oh, sure. Sure. So here's the street here and here's here's Irv's property.
Okay, so where's the
Here's,
hill? Where's the hill? Just
It's all
north?
through, it's all through here,
Mm-hmm.
right through this area, right through here.
Okay,
And then
so
Alice
that's,
Park is down in here.
okay, so this, if this is the slope here,
Mhm.
and who is this?
Oh, these people on here are the I think it's this, I can't think of the names right now. I can
So,
find out.
so I mean, a couple of ways,
Go to the
there's,
city website or the
there may not
county
be,
property website.
there may not be a whole lot of point if you're only gonna pull it up to this line.
Oh,
seed will come-
do
come
we
in.
own up to that gravel road then, or no? It doesn't look like it? Well,
So,
along-
I have-
and half the
I
hillside?
think we do, but we have to look at the.
So you could notify the owner, ask them to pull it or volunteer to pull it, but it would be good. It's one thing about invasive is that it's so frustrating because they're so good at filling in the gaps. So
Right.
I have learned not to start a project until I know that I can.
Do the
really-
whole thing.
Yeah, otherwise you just feel exhausted, you've got nothing
So how
accomplished.
far do you go into their property?
Well, it depends on how far it is. This looked like mostly like just 4 feet above the park, north of the parking lot. I don't know how much I don't know that we saw anything to the,
So I would say our property line goes up that slope right by the parking where the planters are at, and it goes up maybe 10, 12 feet
yeah, that should be,
to our property line, city property line.
yeah. And then we saw on the sort of eastern side, right next to Minnesota Avenue, there was quite a bit of the Sweet William, which I would just assume it's city property until someone says, excuse me.
Yeah, but the Sweet William is the flax looking stuff?
Yeah.
I would let Kay know from a public works standpoint that we're doing this.
Well, and that's the thing, like, what all do we have to do to be able to actually physically take plants out,
You just need a large garbage bag like I had.
right? But like city wise and meeting wise and all that other fun stuff.
Oh, if it was you're saying if we all got together, open meeting laws, I see what you're saying. It
Set a
depends on-
time,
Right?
post it, give it to the city clerk, deputy clerk,
Just like you do a meeting.
and she can put it on the city website. Parks gonna meet down at the Alice Park on June the 13th from 5 to
Right.
7.
So I wonder if we do. Yeah. Hopefully the weather will cooperate, right? But it's not like it's gonna
You
snow.
can still pull it in the rain.
It wouldn't take too long, really.
I don't think so.
We just need a few different tools.
I think you only
And-
need your hands to, if we're just doing the garlic mustard, all you need is your hands and a big bag.
Well, are we gonna stop at garlic mustard? I suppose the first time we should maybe just stop at garlic mustard.
I mean, I
versus
could bring there's
honeysuckle and
not that much
buckthorn and all that
buckthorn or,
stuff.
I could just bring while other people are pulling garlic mustard, I could just bring my kill buckthorn equipment and kill what's there. For
Right.
buckthorn and honeysuckle. Yeah, I mean, I don't think, it wasn't overwhelm, I don't think it was overwhelmingly honeysuckle and.
Right, so that would just be something that we should visit with Kane about for the specifics of what we remove and what we do. It looked like somebody's been doing some chemical stuff down there. Are
I'm
you
sure
aware of that?
Caden-
It was sprayed.
I'm sure he's relying on
Right?
John's input, but I would.
He hasn't, but
Let him know we're doing it.
he sprayed,
Yeah,
it looks
something
like,
that's
it looks like he
sprayed.
knows,
Spray for weeds.
it looks like he knows what he's doing in terms of spraying.
And he's got a certified or
Yeah.
permit to spray weeds and stuff like that.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to say is that he seems to know the difference between natives and, I mean, a lot of people call the natives weeds. But he seems to know the difference between what are good
Right.
plants and invasive plants, is what I'm trying to say.
So what do we want to do? How do we want to set this up? How do we want to move forward?
Pick a day,
Right.
and I think it won't take very long, but it would be great to be able to get it all,
Would a 5 to 7 be a good time,
depending on how many people.
right? 5 to 7 sometime? You know, even though that's a dinner hour, but
6 to 8 or whatever.
stays bright for so long lately, but.
So
But an
what,
evening would be better, obviously, than an afternoon, because I think we could involve more people
Even
that way.
even 6:30 day, I think an hour and a half would be plenty of time to do some damage.
especially have somebody who's had a bad day, they're great.
They're very resourceful. I love it. I know that Justin Black would want to be down there, and I bet you Christian would want to come too.
So we could maybe post it like at the post office for volunteers to come, but that's,
That would be amazing if anyone, but yeah, we could try that.
We can
You can put-
also-
You can put that posting on the city
City website or
website,
city.
volunteers welcome.
Yeah, so do you guys want to pick someday next week? Are we into that idea? What your calendars would have, is council on the 14th or the 21st?
21st.
21st?
We have Gold Rush on the 13th. We have Water and Sewer on the 14th. And the council on the 21st, so it could be the 16th.
I mean,
If you wanna
what
pick a
happens on a
weeknight.
Wednesday or Thursday night?
I personally can't make those 2 nights. That's just conflicting work things and then other,
Right, the 15th and the 16th?
that's just me though. So if other
Right.
people can.
I mean, I'd like to aim for Wednesday, the 15th and just see, would that work for you, Don?
Mhm.
Okay. And
what time?
yeah, do we want to do 6 o'clock or do we want to start earlier?
Do you think, or, I don't know, when people have dinner, get dinner,
I know, right?
and
And
it's,
I mean, 6:30 would probably be okay.
so like
We have
6:30
enough
to
daylight.
8:30?
Yeah,
Okay.
right,
Just can leave it open-ended to 6:30 till,
right.
you know.
Until the ice cream is served. I mean, I can treat to ice cream. That's what usually when I get volunteers, I treat to something like cookies or coffee or in the evening, it's
Right.
ice cream. So,
All right,
in that case, I hope not too many people.
we're not gonna get too many people. I'm
Okay.
pretty sure.
Yeah,
So
so
That sounds terrible.
I can,
You'll post it someplace.
I'll make a little
Beneficial.
post to give to Renee, and then I'll post it on the citizens page too, because I think that's kind of the way that most people see things.
Okay.
And then because it is a special, if it is deemed a special parks meeting,
If there's more than 3 of us,
it'll, which there probably will be, so we'll have to post it as a meeting, and then they'd have, do they have to post that? They don't post that at the post office.
probably not.
No, just council meetings at the
City-
post office.
She can post it on the calendar and the city website, Facebook page. Parks Committee meeting and volunteers.
June the 15th, did we say?
Yeah,
At what time?
They bring gloves or anything?
it could be recommended maybe.
I
but-
think probably if you bring gloves, you have the choice of using gloves, but it's definitely like long pants, socks, good
Mhm.
shoes and long sleeves, only because of bugs or ticks, you would want to. Hopefully I can bring, or people can bring bug spray if the bugs are out. But probably the ticks are going to be the
Okay, I'll put all that on there.
and what Sorry.
So I'm texting Justin right now just to see if he'll be able to come too,
Did
but,
did we say 6:30?
yeah, do you think 6:30 is okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right,
And I'd say rain or shine, unless it's lightning.
I know, right?
Mhm.
All right,
6:30 to.
I like it. Well, yeah, that way that gives us a little leeway before July 4th, if the weather does tank on us on that night.
And I
That
can
would be
bring, I
nice.
got huge garbage bags, and then I guess, what do we do with the garbage bags when they're full?
Yeah, we'll ask Kane.
Okay,
Yeah,
great.
all right.
Super.
Cool. So Rylander, the mill panels, the dam and grist mill panels,
Yes,
going
So-
places?
so what's happening there? Got some
Yeah.
action on there.
Nice.
So I've put together a draft of the pictures and a script, and I've given that to Chad Tracy, their
Okay,
designer, Jack Woodhouse is his name. He's taken a look at it, and I've asked both him and Molly, who's the manager, office manager, to put together a quote of what it would cost to do the design and the printing for those two. And I've asked to have a quote ready for the council packet.
fantastic.
So I don't have any idea, it could be 2 years ago. Years ago?
I know. It's a
It was
long
like
time
$1,700.
Oh,
So,
1700.
It'll be interesting to see how that,
Yeah.
so,
But we
But
have
it-
money set aside in the budget already somehow. don't
what's
we?
that?
We have money set aside in the budget already, don't we, for it?
We should, there should be plenty for it. I don't
Right.
think we're well too far. I don't think we're too far into the Parks budget yet, so.
Okay,
But it's a very simple design. There's a script in the middle, the pictures on the side of it. And a lot of the time is designer time. So
Right.
hopefully we're fine.
okay,
So it'd be
great.
same kind of colors that the LCCMR panels that are up there now. So we'll try to make them as uniform as we can wherever we can.
Perfect.
So
Good. That way people won't think that they're place, that they're an actual thing and it's an educational thing.
And then we'll have a small one over by the grist mill stone that's off on the west side of the park. And I was hoping Kane would be here, but I'll talk to him, see if they're planning to do a better job of trimming weeds and
Hmm,
cleaning it up. It
probably
doesn't look very
once,
appropriate, but
probably once our seasonal people, the rest of our seasonal.
yeah, they just
people-
started today, so.
Well, and there's gonna be this crew there on June 15th. Justin said he can come, so that's great.
Good.
So we will miss you, Dana, just saying. But I don't want to do it on Thursday because I have to go to cardio line dancing on Thursday nights.
And like Dana said, the seasonal crew started today, the other two kids, so
Good.
we'll give them a couple days here to work on stuff.
Do you know their names? Who is it? Anybody from the community or?
Yes, Fisher Griggs, which is Melissa Griggs' son. And
Okay.
then the
And
young
the
man
other
from
is-
last.
He came back from last year.
Gavin?
Gavin.
Gavin.
came back.
Awesome.
And there's
Good.
a third one they've hired. His name is John. He's a gentleman lives down by Lake Zumbro.
Fantastic.
He's another seasonal part-time person. They have three of them, so they
He's a catch.
do 3 mowers
Good.
going at one time and
Mhm.
just like 3 ducks going down the road.
I bet, right? Yeah.
It does look like that.
Oh, I love it. Awesome. Okay. So Dana, before you talk about water at Orinoco Park, does anyone have an idea of how those trees are doing?
Nope.
Right? I don't either. I almost went
There's
down
about
there,
7 or
but
8 of them left, probably.
what's that?
There's about 7 or 8 of them left.
There are, okay. Bummer. But then again, there were trees planted right on the river from the restoration project, right?
Mhm. They're doing fine, as far as I can see.
Those ones are doing good, but those were like bigger to start with,
Yeah, the
right.
seedlings didn't take, you know,
right? Okay.
they're too
All
dear.
right. Yeah. All right, and then Dana.
Yeah, so Kane asked me to, or well, I told him I would discuss this tonight because, since the bathrooms are not open, we haven't turned water on at Orinoco Park. We do have 2 spigots there that I guess a group of fishermen were there and wanted to have a fish boil. And
Hmm,
we're told there would be water. Well, they had reserved this long ago before any decisions like this were made. And of course, it just felt.
Yeah,
So anyway, they're disappointed. But Kane and I talked and I said, well, you know, it is nice to have access to water if you're having a picnic or if you're having something like that, if you have dogs that need a drink or any of that. So we kind of thought maybe we should turn those on. It wouldn't affect anything else. There'd be no risk.
Wouldn't you,
So it'd just basically be
Yeah.
having water, those spigots available for people to turn on. And it wouldn't
people
affect,
are using the bathrooms, wouldn't the water have to be on when you're?
but we're not.
Well, you're letting them open it up for events.
Yeah, so I
So aren't
don't,
they connected?
So I don't know, if
I
they
don't-
rented the shelter, maybe they did rent the shelter.
I don't really know, but they
think
were
they don't.
told at some point that
Water should be
long
on
time
by
ago.
Memorial Day or something probably.
they were told that the water, there would be water there. Again, he couldn't read. You'll have to talk to him more about like this specific group.
But does Kane
But-
feel comfortable? with
Yeah,
turning
he
the water
said-
on?
Every year too.
He said the water can be on, no problem. It wouldn't
Okay.
cut, it's no risk, and if we don't, whatever. And it is nice to have, I think.
Yeah, didn't they already have to fix something once because the water was messed up? I think we did. But anyway,
He seemed to
That'd be
think
good.
that it wouldn't be an issue and it would be fine to turn on, so we can discuss it, bring it to council.
Yeah, I'll talk to him.
does it have to be a council driven thing to
I don't
turn
think
water
so.
on?
The main thing was the bathrooms, and we discussed
Right,
that,
and we
and
discussed
the
that,
camping, so.
right,
Right? Okay,
The Kane would provide, be able to provide the best input into what we do with the water.
yeah,
I'll talk to
he
him.
thought it would be no big deal.
all right, I like that idea of water being available there. And have you used the trails or is there still a lot of thistle or how's that going?
Haven't used them this year.
I know, that's sad, that means you're too busy.
It is, you're right. That's
You
dumb.
gotta put that on your calendar. I know, actually, it was a real challenge. I said to Dawn today, I said, let's go look at Alice Park before the meeting. And of course, Dawn got there way before me because it was really hard for me to get out of my house. But anyway, it's always hard to do something a little extra. But I'm very relieved that we did that because I think it's really awesome.
And there's cool stuff there.
Yeah.
It's really good.
I wonder if Lance knows there's cool stuff there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, and speaking of Lance, you guys were at Garden Park. So do
Yep,
we have a couple
Lance.
people renting or what's happening at Garden Park?
No, nobody that I know is renting
Okay.
a plot unless it just came through.
I think there was one that came through, I thought. I
Maybe.
saw.
But there wasn't anything planted at that point. So Lance and I and his son Neil planted
Oh,
some
good.
native plants throughout the park last.
Oh, okay, so you weren't in the garden area, you were doing the native plants that he had purchased, that he wanted out there.
Right.
Awesome,
Yes.
Neil, that's so good.
Yes, and
Cool.
then, but at that point, nobody had been,
Well, that was like a year ago, I think,
What's that?
right? That they planted the natives.
Then they did another batch.
Oh,
we just
okay.
did it, yeah, it was
Oh,
like
wow, okay.
a
Yeah.
week and a half ago.
Yeah.
And, but nobody had started planting in the
Okay,
garden yet.
awesome. What'd you guys have, like 100 or don't you even know?
I don't know.
I know,
I was just,
but it was doable,
oh yeah,
right? That's so exciting. Like, were you in tall grasses to do it?
nothing was that tall yet.
Yeah.
You know,
I love it. I love it. Awesome. Okay. Things going okay at River Park as far as we know, pickleball and such, right?
it's being used.
Yeah.
Mhm. Lots of people using the park as far as the tennis courts and
Okay.
basketball, and it's always a busy park. There's people there always.
And it sounds like people are using the frisbee golf because they were pouting that it wasn't mowed good enough.
I don't know.
So
I
that,
think,
or were they weren't even gonna use it, they were just.
no, I
pouting.
think they were there to go. I know, I think they were definitely there to go, but
Okay.
I do think,
Right,
yeah, I think
that's
that
all good.
it was kind of a one-time thing and
And
somebody was
Right.
disappointed and.
it's great that they, I mean, while it's not great to have a complaint, it's like, oh, they want to use it.
Yeah, it is nice to know that people are taking part in the parks. That, yeah, for sure.
Awesome.
I wish, I wish it was. We do work hard, our public works does work hard to keep it up and
Right.
trying to
Our
make sure.
our imperfection shows. how much- oh my
Trying to make
goodness.
sure that residents really understand what a giant park system we have compared to the amount of staff we have to take care of it. You know what I mean? I don't think
Yeah.
people appreciate that because they see their little park and they want
Right.
that part
Yeah.
done and,
Right.
but whatever. That's just what it is.
Exactly.
Try to educate.
Exactly. Okay, so Riverwood Hills Park, we're still working on those trails. And we're probably not gonna see too much sewer treatment plant stuff changes in that area because of the fact that it's already so contained. And nothing will
Yeah,
happen,
probably next year.
right?
Yeah.
Cool. And then I had a little visit with Kane. About Memorial Park. Oh my gosh, so apparently like the Bobcat broke down. Then they were gonna put the swings up and they didn't have all the parts again for another parts issue.
Right.
So, but apparently T-ball starts tomorrow. So he's
Yeah, they
gonna
have
have
to-
the swings up by T-ball, so that's gonna be exciting.
Yeah, the Bobcat was repaired last Thursday or Friday. He got it back. Thursday morning, he got it back.
Okay,
Because we had a comment on the River Park or Citizen of Orinoco about the swings weren't up yet.
at Memorial Park, right?
In Memorial Park, yes. So,
Yep.
So Kane, I'm assuming they're up. I haven't,
Well,
Tomorrow.
he said he's
Tomorrow.
gonna get him up tomorrow because today was using the Bobcat to put grass and things like that. Plus, they had to wait for some parts to come in for the swings.
okay.
Because they're still in the Pacific or the Atlantic Ocean, right?
I don't know, yeah, there you
Sure
go.
they were.
Oh my gosh,
It's in
oh
process.
man. So who's in charge of T-ball?
Oh, God, if I knew her, Brittany Lean, I think is the name of her.
Brittany Lean, yeah, that's
Do you
my
know her?
neighbor, I think. And she has twin girls and a little boy, and then is Todd Hirschka still involved too, like last year? But at any rate.
Yes,
it's
they might
good.
be doing it together again. She,
Right?
yeah,
Right?
they took it over.
Good.
I started doing it last year.
Oh, okay,
And then
that was
I
wild,
Quickly
right?
handed it off to her as soon as I
Yes.
could, and she did great.
Yes, there's
Yeah.
like 40 or more families.
I think it was a big, yeah, I think it's a really, I think the community really appreciates that we offer that.
Yes,
I know I signed several checks for her last week for materials and things like that.
Great.
oh, good, good. All right, so, we have Joy sitting in here and I'm pretty sure we don't have comprehensive. They said they printed some comprehensive plans for us to be able to page through sometime. Do you know about that?
No, but I can go see if they're in the office, but
Comprehensive plans for.
Yeah, so the city of Orinoco had comprehensive plans done in probably what, 2006?
2006.
Before that,
Even before that, and then,
maybe it was 2000. Maybe it was 2006, 2005, 2006. It
2006
almost
is still
seemed
the
like
current
we
one,
had
yeah.
worked on that. Just trying to.
And if you look at it today,
Probably 2001, probably.
This is like a
'cause we had to
strategic-
have that
yeah,
Okay,
when we were looking at water and sewer.
right,
And so it kind of went hand in hand, and then for a couple of years, we had the no sewer.
that look familiar? Yeah, July 17th, 2006.
so if you look at the
Okay.
2006, everything is revolving around water and sewer.
This was on the table up there, actually.
great.
There might be more in the office. We can look when we go,
Oh.
but you
So
can
we
take that
have
home.
to kind of
I think she
work
put it back on the
with
website too.
philosophy that water and sewer wouldn't happen, but if it happened,
Sure.
that's how we were gonna do it.
and what are we
I wonder
looking
if I
for
have
in
that.
it?
well, just because like it exists and we wanna make sure that we haven't missed something. In some
Is it
aspects
Parks-
that way,
Parks,
but
Recreation, Open Space, 28.
yeah. So that's something that we can visit about at the next meeting too, remind people to check it out online.
Yeah, we can put it on our task list and
Yeah.
have people check it out.
So, speaking of the next meeting, so of course, our next meeting is July 4th. So I don't know that we want to meet on July 4th. But I also know how hard it is to change it too, what we usually just do.
I will be here on July the 4th.
I know, right? And we're not having fireworks in Orinoco, so we'll have to put somewhere else with fireworks, just kidding.
Could we just move it one
But-
day after?
So Rylan and I would have VFW and auxiliary that day
What time?
at 7,
Could we meet?
so,
Could we do this for a little bit earlier?
I mean, maybe. Cause if it's not the first week, that second Monday throws you guys off, and then the third Monday, right? I mean, if we move it, if all your Mondays are booked, aren't they?
The first 2 weeks,
First 2 weeks.
Parks the first week, Gold Rush the second week, second Monday.
The 18th is open.
18th is free. 7th is free.
I'm probably not here after the
No,
15th.
7th.
But
Okay.
I can zoom.
The 7th, so I can.
And that's always the,
14th is P and Z.
we never know if
7th.
township's gonna, be in here.
When's P and Z?
The 14th.
So it would be great if it was that easy just to move it on Tuesday, because are all your Wednesday and Thursdays busy? Or all your Wednesdays, I should say, right? Okay,
Either with food shelf or some sort of
Like
volleyball.
Wednesdays.
I think, could we do it? Could we commit to being an hour long on Tuesday night from 6
Well-
to 7
I'm wondering,
before you do?
oh yeah. Because Justin might be able to come by 6 o'clock, right? Let me see. Because he's
Can
not
we all do
traveling.
it? Can we all do it?
Which day?
So
Will
on
you be
the
able to
5th?
come at 6 o'clock on Tuesday, the 5th?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I can meet in the day too, but I am gone after July the 15th.
Yeah, thought about, okay. All right,
So is that
I
a,
mean, if I want to count Joy as the 5 of us in this room can come on Tuesday, the 5th. But I don't think we've officially signed Joy up yet, but I'm just trying to tempt her. Anyway. But if a lot of us can come at 6 o'clock on Tuesday, that would be great,
I think we aim for it.
right?
So then you'd have to let the city clerk know to change it.
Yes. Yes, and I feel like email isn't the best. I had to call them today. Do you agree that calling them is better to say, hey, look at your email? Although she was gone Thursday afternoon and Friday morning.
Yeah, I
as part
think
of it.
that was just,
And Michelle probably doesn't look at agenda or.
everybody, yeah, they have their own things, so.
Yeah, that's how that works too. It's true. Okay, at any rate, let's do that. So I propose having our next meeting on Tuesday, July 5th at 6 p.m.
Let's just have it at City Hall to,
Yes, make it easy.
yeah, because you guys don't want to be out at a park and then have to race to VFW.
And unfortunately, having those meetings at parks has been really a challenge. It just really seems to it helps it to rain.
it helps, oh.
It helps rain come.
Were you giving this to
Yours.
me or do I give this back to you?
You can have it if you
Okay.
want,
Yes,
because I'm
please.
pretty sure I have it in
Okay.
here.
No, perfect.
So,
Okay. great.
Yeah. All right, so,
Just one more thing I wanted
Yes.
to, just so could we include, when you send out the meeting minutes, for the meeting agenda, could you include the previous ones for everybody to review?
previous minutes.
Yep,
That
so
sounds
like
good.
this June, so for July, when you send that agenda, also send the June minutes. So then
Or-
people will have looked at them and can, say, hey, we discussed this, what I mean.
Yeah, well, and I could do it twice, like, we should try to send it out, once we have the minutes done. Send those out soon, and then send them out again just before the meeting, right? Or don't you think people would read them?
Would you read the minutes twice?
If you didn't make it, and you wanted to be here. Justin's,
True,
you know what I
yeah.
mean?
I got what you're
We
saying.
do
Yeah,
the water and sewer, Gold Rush, we
Yeah.
try and send the
Both.
previous meetings, so.
Yeah, twice, sure.
Right? Okay. Cool,
And
All right,
that's-
I like
and
that.
you will do that. Is that right?
right, like, so should I do that or have the city staff do it? What was our take on that last? I think the last time we decided that I can do it as long as I blind copy.
Yep.
And include agenda or an article.
Yep, because we're not having a discussion, you're just passing along the information.
Okay, but blind copy is kind of a bummer because then I don't know who they sent it to, but that's okay. It's all good. All good. Okay, so I make a motion to be done.
Motion to adjourn at
Ah.
Second.
8:20.
All opposed, say. Wait, what?
In
I?
favor.
No, all in favor. Why did I say all opposed? I skipped ahead. Joy, this is so hard for me to do that crazy stuff. Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Yay, okay. Because then I would say like discussion in the wrong place and Lance has tried to teach this to me for 20 years. I did have a break in between there for a little while. So Rylan, real quick, apparently I'm the contact person for the restoration of Lake Shady on the other side. But that's not even happening for a long time, right? Even though we've been talking about it for a long time, that won't happen until the
On the west
wastewater.
side for a
Yeah,
couple
the
of
west
years.
side of the highway, that's not gonna, nothing's
we're
gonna,
talking